Thank you. And I'm going to share my screen. All right, can everybody see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are going to talk numbers. And we are going to talk prospecting. And we are going to reverse engineer your numbers. In order for this to work, this is really the test of really, do you understand how to get where you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
And my thing has always been, if I can't see the money, I can't make it. And what I mean by that is if I can't see the pathway, if I can't calculate the pathway to the money, I definitely can't. It's going to be harder to make. Once you figure out the pathway to the money, it actually gets, in your mind, it gets simpler because you actually see it. Cool?
That's good.
So what I want to do is the first marker for everyone, the sticking point in isogenics is 5 cycles a week, which is 20 cycles a month, which is $1,000 of new money a month. Would that be cool for everybody?
Yes.
A little over $1,000 per month, so 5 cycles a week. So the first thing you guys want to know is how much volume is needed to make 5 cycles?
4,500.
How'd you get that?
Because one cycle is 900 BVs. So 5 cycles would be 5 times 900, which is 45.
Okay. Perfect. Everybody following?
So 5 cycles a week, 20 cycles per month, 4,500 BV is the target.
It's per week.
Per week. Because one
45.
cycle, 100. Because one cycle
yes,
is
okay.
900 BV.
4,500
600,
BV
300.
per week. Got
Correct.
you.
600,
Awesome.
300. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good stuff. Yay, good job. All right. Quiz number 2.
Mm.
How many people do you need on auto ship that week to give you that? You can tell I like the numbers, huh?
So auto ship is 100. So
So 45 people?
yeah.
How'd you get that, Julie?
Well, if it's if the BV on an auto ship is 100, and you got to do 4,500 BV per week, then that's 45 people doing 100.
Yay. Okay, cool. Everybody following?
Yes.
Anyone not following? We're all good. Okay, awesome.
Good.
So you need 45 people ordering 100 BV on AutoShip, or you need half of that ordering 200 BV on AutoShip, but now you know the numbers that you're looking for. Make sense?
Yes.
Now, the beautiful thing I want you guys to get, it's not 45 people that you enrolled. It's 45 people that your team has put below you. And 1/3 on one side, 2/3 on the other, or 50-50, whichever way you want to do it. The computer will find the quickest way. So it's your team volume. This is where the magic happens. Your team volume. Everybody following?
Yes.
Okay. This is where leaders are amazing. Let's say you have 2 leaders below you. That means that you divide that 45 by 3, and that's what your lifting is. Remember, a percentage of 100 people's efforts?
Right.
So that's why they say leaders will fast track you, because whatever volume you want to create below you, if you have 3 of you doing it, it's less lifting for each person. If you have 5 of you doing it, it's less lifting for each person.
Got it.
So for me, when I bring people in, my goal is to go, how many leaders can I help them get? How many people can I help them put below them that are interested in doing this business? right? So we just put someone below Hayton that is very excited about the business. So it's kind of like, how do I get that help them get that going? Because it's a group effort, right? There's a few people below Tria right now that want to do this as a business, right?
Mhm.
Making sense?
Yeah,
Very cool.
that's leverage, right, Sue?
That is total leverage, my favorite word. Okay, so now you guys know the numbers needed. So we're gonna go to the chart and we're gonna just walk through so you guys see it. So 20 cycles a week, you guys following? 5 cycles.
No, 20 cycles a month.
20 cycles a month, 5 cycles per week. Thank you.
Correct. Mhm.
Okay, that's this column. So that's your target. So you might say, okay, I'm not at 5 cycles yet. So this week I'm gonna go for 1. Cool. But that's where you're going. But you're gonna build like if you're always working towards 5. So then the next question you want to ask yourself is, how many enrollments do I want to get each week in terms of PIB? How much money in PIB do you want to go target each week? So what's the magic number for people?
2.
2.
2? Okay, awesome. Why 2?
That's a consultant.
That's a consultant. There's another reason why 2. If we're just talking PIBs, which is your referral bonus.
Double.
Because double PIBs.
Right. Everything doubles after 2, right?
Right.
So it would make sense to make your target 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have here that my goal for the month is $300 in product introduction bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And each week my target is 2. And I'm going to work with the 30-day. So 2 times 25 is 50. 50 times 2 is 100. So imagine having $100 maybe twice a month, 3 times a month. Would that be a good thing?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you see how your products just get paid for, not on your residual, but on just your enrollments?
Yes.
Good target?
Good target.
All right. So just on the calculation of how much money you want, how many enrollments do you see you need? Someone said it already. How many enrollments at the double give you the
2.
2.
2, right?
2.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going for 2 enrollments. My number for the month is 5 enrollments, but I always aim for 2 a week. Everyone following me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you notice I'm reverse engineering. I'm going from where
Yes.
I want to be and I'm working my way backwards. So if I want to get 2 enrollments in a week, how many presentations do I need to do?
10.
10.
Could be.
Based on 20% effectiveness as you're first starting out, and then your closing ratios get higher as you become more experienced.
That is very good. So now you've got to figure out what's your number here. My number is 5. Your number may be 10. My number is 5 because this number right here I do very well. So if I put you in front of a presentation, there's a high likelihood that you're already close to a yes, because this connection part is where I do my sifting and sorting. So now you each have to figure out what's your number. So if your number is 10, Julie, then your presentations for the month is 40. Cool?
Yeah.
Got it.
10 times 4.
Right.
Okay.
But so Julie's number here is 10, mine is 5.
Yeah, mine's 10.
So if you need to do 10 presentations, how many connections do you need to do? That means how many people you need to actually have a conversation on the phone with. You're on mute, Mark.
20?
Yeah, 20 is a number. I always double it. Some people triple it.
Okay.
But see, and this is the thing is, each of us, if we start tracking it, you'll figure out your numbers. Right? So remember I said to everyone that I text. So I will start my text. I will text 30 people with the goal of getting on the phone with 10. I will text 30 people with the goal of speaking to 15. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever your number is, so if your number is 20, Julie, then that's how many conversations you want to have during the week on Isogenic.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to change my numbers to yours so we can follow it.
I like your numbers better.
Yeah, well,
when I see it, but what I do hear you saying is that your effectiveness with connections affects the amount of work you have to do in the long run.
yes.
The better you are at connecting, the less work you have to do on the tail end, because
right.
your closing ratios increase with your connectivity.
Right, because if I'm good at connecting, I will know what the person is looking for.
Okay.
So my offer is only related to what they're looking for.
Oh, that's good. Offer is only related to what the person is looking for.
Yeah, not what I think they need, but what they told me they want. So I spend some time with my connections, because when I make an offer, I'm going to make an offer into that sweet spot of this is what I want. And I'll be like, yep, I got the answer. How soon do you want to make that change? Cool.
Good. I love that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Can you repeat
That was
that?
good.
My offer is, my connection is based upon what they told me they want.
What they want.
The
right?
offer is only related to what they're looking for.
See, most people make offers based on what we think someone needs, not what they said they wanted. So my job is, when I'm connecting, is to listen for the gap between where they are and where they want to be. And my job is to make my offer so it fills that gap, so it occurs as value in a sweet spot.
Listen for the gap between where they are and where they want to be.
Right.
Got it.
And remember I said, prospecting has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with what the person wants. My only job is to listen for what they tell me they want. And if I can offer it, offer it. If I can't, keep listening. And keep the conversation going. Because eventually they'll tell you what they want. Sometimes it's collaboration. Sometimes it's weight loss. Sometimes it's energy. Sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's just to hang out with a group of like-minded people. Sometimes it's all sorts of different things. But if you don't know, this number will get higher, because it's like throwing spaghetti on a wall and seeing what sticks. I'm just going to talk to everybody. I had someone call me from the Pivot Conference, Turia. And it was, hello, Suzanne. And I'm like, did I click on your thing? I clicked on everybody thinks I just wanted to know how they worked. So I was in the store just clicking. And for some people, as soon as you clicked, it captured your information. So I get this phone call. Hello, Suzanne, it's such and such from the Pivot Conversation. Great. Do you keep your options open? And I'm thinking, seriously?
Uh-oh.
What does that mean? Are we dating? Are we going to dinner? Like, what does that mean? So I said, it depends on what it is. And she says, well, do you have a business? I said, yeah. Now listen to this. Do you have a business? Yeah. Well, I have a business offer for you. Did you not hear me? I have a business.
A speaker
a trainer at the Pivot Conference.
Yes. So then it was, okay. Or it might not have been a trainer. It might have been someone who attended. Because remember, we all put our information in the feed,
I know,
right?
but you're a trainer. So
Yeah.
she didn't do any research before she reached out.
No. So she goes, so I have a business, but she offered me another one. And then she said, well, if I send you a presentation, will you watch it? Does this have anything to do with me?
No.
Is she listening to a word I'm saying?
Nope.
Does she know anything about me?
Not a thing, clearly.
No. So I'm busy. I need to get you off the phone. I said, yeah, just email me the presentation. Goodbye. Now, do you think I've watched this presentation yet?
Mm-mm.
I have no commitment to this presentation. I clicked on it. I was like, ooh, it's 10 minutes. I don't have time. Clicked off because I am not interested because she didn't find out what my sweet spot was. Now, it might be my sweet spot, but because she didn't connect with me and I actually don't know what she's sending me, I am not interested. So her number is going to be really high.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's doing let's throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Whereas my number is, hey, Tria, how are you? It's Suzanne. I met you at the Pivot Conference. I saw a little bit. I just want to get a little bit more information on what you do. Tria's going to start telling me. I am going to listen. Tria, what's the biggest challenge you're having in your business right now? I'm just interested in knowing if I can support you or if I can connect you with someone. Tria's probably going to tell me because now I'm making it all about Tria. And then I'm listening to see if Tria tells me something that interests that I can help her with. And then I might say, so Tria, do you have any reoccurring revenue that's coming in when you're not actually physically working? I'm going to wait and see. No? Is that something you've considered? Yeah, but I don't know, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to have a conversation so I figure out what her need is or where her mind is. I always get people to help because when they ask me what I do, I tell them. And I go, the 4 areas I focus on are this, this, and this. And of course, the culmination of mastery is health and wellness. And you know it's our brand, right? As we go into the world as entrepreneurs and business professionals. Yeah, it is, but I just don't have time. Yeah, that's what I do. I help people figure out how to make nutrition easy, efficient, and impactful in the time that we have as entrepreneurs. I'm just going to have a conversation, but I guarantee you, I will get you to my sweet spot.
When they ask you what you do, what do you reply?
Pardon me?
When they ask you, what do you do?
I tell people I'm known as a mindset mastery mentor, and I literally help people get out of their way. I help them master the emotions, the thoughts, the communication, and behaviors that keep them from winning this game called life.
And as it relates to isogenics, what do you tell them you do?
That's what I tell them I do all the time. Because it gives me lots of conversation.
Okay.
Because isogenics is just a tool of your work. It's right. So you're not putting forward the tools. We're putting forward the work that we do as we work and help people in mastery, in areas of mastery of their life. Whether it's financial, whether it's physical health, or whether it's social and emotional, because there's people, like you said, who just want to belong to something and have something to do, and money comes to them organically because of it.
Mm-hmm. What if someone asked, if I were you and someone asked me what you do, I would say, how everyone's concerned about whether they'll have enough money for retirement? Yep. I help people assess whether they're prepared for retirement so they can retire the way they desire, and direct them to resources and tools that they can use to add income into their portfolio that's going to be there when they retire. I would play around with something like that because that's what you're up to. It has nothing to do with isogenics. I help people, make sure that they're physically healthy and financially healthy as they prepare for retirement. What do you do? Right? So I'm the Mindset Mastery Mentor, and we focus on health and wellness in terms of that is your ultimate level of mastery. But we focus on helping people master the emotions, the thoughts, the communication that get in their way of them building and developing the life and the success they desire. And so one of the key areas that always shows up is in their health and wellness and in their business success. I tell people the same thing all the time. And it's interesting how they just start talking to me. Where in your business do you think you're in your own way? When Tri and I had a conversation, it was about, she knew that she had all the skills needed. There was something missing. And I said, it's probably this right here. And she was like, oh, probably, right? The conversations that you're having with yourself and the thoughts you're having about your own success. Or you need to clear some stuff emotionally. And she was like, we need to talk.
Yeah.
And here she's nice again.
Yeah, all of the above. Can I try?
Mm-hmm.
So can I say something to the fact that I'm a social media strategist and I help coaches and consultants specifically make their brands shine online. And I believe that everyone deserves to have a thriving business, but it doesn't have to come at the expense of your health.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. Right. And then it gives you leeway to go, when we are on social media with the prevalence of video right now, we have 7 seconds, they say, to make a first impression. And how we show up, how we shine online is everything. So I work with all my clients around showing up as their best self, energy, health, all those things.
Okay.
Now you're just opening up conversation. The other thing I've learned is, as entrepreneurs, and I'm going to put your words back to you, is that our business needs an engine. And our engine is products that are not attached to time. That's digital products. That's marketing products, other people's products. Whose products are you marketing that you didn't have to develop?
Okay.
Do you see how I'm just opening up conversation? And the more I open up the leeway for conversation to happen, the smaller this number gets. And I'm making it so I'm not talking about isogenics. Remember I said the minute you start talking about isogenics, you're presenting. Mm-hmm. I'm connecting right now. So it's not about isogenics, but it's about positioning me as the expert so that we can have a conversation where they can get to the point and go, you can help me. Is this helpful?
Yeah, very.
So if Julie's number was 10, this is 20 or more, Julie. Cool?
Okay. Mm-hmm. And
my follow-up number is always the same. For me, it's always the same as my connection number. And as Melvin's listening, Melvin will know that the money is in the follow-up. It is everything. And the place that most people fall down is in the follow-up. But your sale actually usually happens from this column. It rarely happens here. It happens here. So when you bring someone to a presentation, this appointment should already be set.
Okay.
And then when you have this appointment, your next appointment should be set before you hang up the phone. That's how you do follow-up well. I just go from appointment to appointment to appointment to appointment to appointment. And people expect my call and they answer the phone. Why? Because I'm not presenting. I'm connecting and following up. I'm opening up dialogue that's all about them and all about their business.
Oh, can I just ask you, just to make sure that I heard you correctly? So you follow up, you invite someone to a presentation. Say I invite them out on Thursday, but I have my next call scheduled with them even before they get on the call on Thursday.
Right.
Okay.
And if I were you, I would schedule my call with them right after the presentation on Thursday.
Okay. Okay.
While questions are fresh. And when I set up a call, I go, when you come out to the presentation, write down any questions that that come up. I'll jump on the phone with you right after the presentation and make sure I get them answered.
Okay.
Cool? You were like, yeah. And that way, if they're interested, you can go right from the presentation into here. Let me send you information on the products. Let me send you more information on whatever else you need. Now you've got step 2 right in play because you did the follow-up.
Okay.
You might have someone who you can do all these steps right in a row because they're like, I love what I saw. What do I need to do? So we had a call, Dawn was on, I got off the phone and I actually said, Dawn, I'm gonna call you as soon as we get off. She said, yep. I got on the phone with her. I said, so what are your thoughts? Like, what do you, and she goes, I wanna start. And she goes, I gotta put my money together. And my question would be, when will you have your money together? She said, Friday. Awesome, what time on Friday should I call you? And she said 7. When I called her on Friday, she had her computer up. She was ready to go. Appointment to appointment to appointment. Follow-up is the one thing that people don't do. And I follow up until I close you. Or until I decide you're not a fit. And sometimes as I'm following up with people, they are, let me put this politely. I notice that they are not a good fit with my spirit. How's that?
Mm-hmm. That was so polite and good.
That's understandable.
Right? There are some people, it's a lot more work to work with than to let them go.
Okay.
But you want to do your follow-up until you come to the conclusion. Don't let someone go just because you forgot. Cool? And then the last column here is your leads. And the question then becomes, how many new leads are you adding to that list of 200 each week? And what are you doing to get those leads? And we'll talk about that a little bit more. My goal is to add 3. Now my leads list is massive right now, but that's my habit. Can I add 3? So what are you guys seeing?
I think that, and this is from personal experience from when I used to actually do my numbers, it gives you the picture of where you are in the process and where you need to put your focus if you may be not putting enough attention.
Absolutely. The other thing you'll notice is that numbers don't lie. So numbers keep us honest, because how many of you think you're doing more and then you track it and you're like, ooh, I'm not doing as much as I thought. Making sense?
For sure.
Awesome.
So Suzanne, this is sort of like, it's sort of, and what I'm seeing is, it's sort of like a train leaving a steam train leaving a station. That, you know, it's a slow churn up front, just putting all these leads together and getting all that part together, and then you start movement with the connecting phone calls, and the connecting phone calls you move to follow up, and then and now you're finally hearing what people are saying, and now you're matchmaking what you have to what they need.
Right.
And then you're teaching other people to do the same thing, so the momentum starts going. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, got
But this is the other thing I want you guys to get. So if your goal is 10 presentations, that's 2 a day, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
If your goal is 20 connections, that's 4 a day, is it not?
Yeah, right.
And I'm assuming you guys are taking 2 days off. That's 4 follow-ups a day. That's 0.5 new lead a day. Do you guys see how doable these numbers are once you break them down and you become consistent?
So it's not something that has to consume your whole day and you can't get anything else done or go and enjoy your life. It actually equates to a couple hours a day of actual work.
Not even.
Not even.
If you do it right. Not even.
And this ties in exactly with how your cards are in play on the Trello board.
Yep. Absolutely. So part of it is most people look at the numbers and they go, oh my gosh, but they're not consistent. If you are consistent, it's an hour to 90 minutes a day to make a 6-figure income. Really? You spend more time getting someone trained, but once they're trained, they're off and running, than it takes to put your leads in, like to do those things. It's that habit of a little bit every day. Making sense? So let's go over to this section here, because these are the activities you want to make sure you're doing. So we have a team call for a month, sometimes 5. Do you get to check off, I went to the team call? We have 2 presentations. Are you building? First of all, are you consistently showing up to the presentations? And I'll tell you why you want to consistently. And I watch Taria do this all the time. So I know that when I'm presenting, when I see Taria's screen, I see her, she's taking notes, right? She's taking notes because Taria is preparing herself, I already know, to be the presenter. Taria is getting ready to be able to do this without me or to replace me. That's a leader. There are those people who are showing up only when they have a guest, and they're not showing up to master the presentation. They're just showing up. So I will tell you, I've been to more presentations than anybody wants to think about, but I also became one of the top trainers in the company. Because I could train anybody's presentation. Because I was always, what's she doing? What's he doing? Why are they doing that? What's that for? What's this for? I was always taking notes. Because I didn't come to the presentation because I had a guest. I came to the presentation to be, how do I become the leader that can can be the best at this presentation? I wasn't waiting for someone to always have to do my presentation for me, because I figured if I was going to lead, I'm going to be able to sit down at a table, recreate the presentation, do it with such ease that I could close people and on a dime if that person was ready at that time. These presentations are for you guys to hear it often enough that you become masters at it. You should be able to sit down and draw this presentation that you see every Thursday and Saturday, be able to do it on a piece of paper and talk people through it and practice it. So for me, are you coming out to the presentations, and what are you challenging yourself to bring to guests? And when you don't have a guest, are you on the presentation challenging yourself to learn and master the presentation? Cool? Next one is exposures. Now, exposure activities are the money, they're money. So this is what I'm gonna ask you. What are you doing each week to fill this pipeline right here? So for me, one of my exposure activities is I do social media consistently and persistently every week. I do a Facebook Live. I go and I see who's on my live. If there's someone new on my live, I go on my list. And I'm gonna start following you. I'm intentional about my exposure activities. Another exposure activity is I attempt to speak at least twice a month on someone else's platform. So on Thursday, thank you, Anila, I'm speaking on someone else's platform. I know I'm gonna pick up some new people. There's a link. So I'm doing a webinar for someone else. What else can I do? Well, there's a networking group that I've been attending all through the social distancing. They just wrapped up. I didn't know any of the women before I went. Now I have all their contact information. Cool? So what are the things you were gonna do each week to fill your pipeline? My goal is 3 exposure activities. One of them is always the same, social media. And 2 is I need to get creative. Where can I go? What can I do? What can I create? How do I get exposure? Go ahead, Anthony.
So an exposure activity would be maybe something like a meetup.
Yeah. So you're doing one consistently because you're speaking at Toastmasters.
Yes.
Right. So your goal is I speak at Toastmasters, and the question you want to say to yourself, I want to come back with my 3 leads. So you might be paying attention to the people who are most engaged, the people who ask the most questions. You might want to give away something so people give you their contact information. And if you want to learn more about that, check in with Sharia, because she'll that's a social media technique, and social media, we're digital right now, so it's all the same. So if you're not attending Turia's social media Saturdays, I really suggest that that's a place to go to get all these tips and tools around how to become proficient with lead magnets and all that sort of stuff. So exposure is key. And then your high 5 group is a great way to convert customers. It's a great way to get customers to consultants. So are you creating a high 5 group for every customer that you bring in? And do you have your focus on becoming consultant or creating a consultant? You're either becoming one or you're creating one. And then the last thing is, do you listen to an audio every week? Are you training yourself on your business? So this is a tracker. This is kind of how my mind works. This is how I track my stuff. This is how I keep myself organized.
When you said the audio, Sue, what's the audio you're referring to?
So if you go into Isogenics Business, isogenicsbusiness.com, there are all sorts of audios, training, whether it be product, whether it be.
Oh, okay.
So it's just educating yourself on the new profession you've gotten into. right? What are you doing to become more of a professional? Now, no matter what business you have, what I just showed you, that's the way you want to do it. That's how you do. This is a lead tracker, if you will. No matter what business you're in, the numbers are almost the same. So whether you're doing, so Julie, whether you're doing your cosmetic business, whether you're doing isogenics, that tracker is the same for each business. Questions? Y'all real quiet.
This is on our Trello board, right?
Say that again.
This tracker sheet is in our Trello board.
Yes, it is. I think it is under, let's go check. I will add it here.
Okay, so step 7.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure it's not in.
Okay.
I'm just gonna check one thing. So y'all, so the calls that we do go in notes.
Okay.
And they go in the notes that's appropriate to what you need. Here it is.
Oh.
It makes sense. It's under tracker.
Uh,
So it's under,
okay. Step 1.
Yeah, it's under step 1 because we're connecting, right? So people got to track.
Okay, perfect.
And there it is. If you click on it right there, it should open up to the tracker.
All right, thank you.
So on everyone's Trello board, if you go to notes and any step, you will find recordings of all the calls or an appropriate documents that go with it.
Okay.
Thank you, Fazia.
Yes, thanks, Fazia.
Awesome.
Yay.
Feel like I'm in the University of Business Development.
Tell you.
You know, by the time I get a command of the tracker, get a command of Trello, figure out where my Gmail is, connect it to that with my 200-person list, have my high fivers, and then connect with them, and then set up and send out my It's
The beautiful thing is once it's all in place, it becomes turnkey and simple. And now you are ready to build because remember we said there's 3 things. There is having a great product and all that wonderful stuff, right? Product includes compensation and product. 2 is having a clear system. right? A system that's easy to follow, clear, and easy to manage, which is what Fazia and I have been working on. And then 3 is leadership training. When we get on these calls on Monday mornings, this is our leadership training. Those are the 3 things you want to make. My goal is to make people independent and train in such a way that everything's available for them to train someone else. So the reason the calls go on to the notes in the Trello board is if you bring in a new person, you'll say, go to the Trello board and I want you to listen to this training. And then we're going to come back and talk about it. Go to the Trello board and do this. We're making it so that you guys have everything you need to step into leadership with your new person. And it doesn't mean that they don't get to come to the calls. Of course they get to come to the calls, but we may not be the call that you need at that moment. So all the calls that we're doing are recorded so you guys can manage your leaders and you can develop your leaders. We're just building it systemically. And so we're looking at how do we do this so it's highly duplicatable and there's a system for people to build a large team and not be like, how do I keep track of these people? Because let me tell you, when I first started and it started to grow, I was like, I don't even know what to do. How are we going to do this? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And that was when we hit 100 people. I have 20,000 people now. That was when we hit 100 people. I was like, what do you do? Oh my gosh. Right. But then it's systemic. Right at the height of my business, I think we had 20 some thousand people in our team. Try tracking that without a system.
Huh.
And without leaders. Questions? What do you guys take away?
It's starting to make more sense and kind of sink in.
Yeah, I got 2 things. And one is actually the backside of you telling the person, okay, send me the email, send it to me in an email and I'll check it out. So that person who did that is leaving with the sense
Sorry,
that,
you lost me, Hayden. Send what in an email?
okay, so in the beginning you were talking about the person that called you up and said, are you open? Do you keep your office open? Right? And then they tried to, they weren't listening to what you were saying, but they wanted to send you their presentation anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
And to get them off the phone, you said, okay, send it in an email.
Mm-hmm.
The back end of that is that person, who could sometimes be us, that person then could leave believing that they're actually accomplished something.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I made a mental note that you don't want to put yourself in that position.
No.
Where you've actually checked off that you've accomplished something, but really you haven't. You may have actually just, to be polite, I guess you've just actually earned yourself a brush off.
Yeah, she annoyed me actually.
Right, but she may be thinking that she's done something, and all she's done is angered you.
Yeah. So call 1. She asked me if I listened to the information. I said no. She goes, I'll call you back next week. I was like, no. And I'm thinking, knock yourself out. But on call 2, I'm going to reverse and I'm going to say, so can I give you some feedback? Can I help you get better at this? And see what she says. Because now she's a prospect to me.
I was thinking that, but also, Hayden, this is why I'm so appreciative, right? Being in this space and having this type of training, because people will always talk about the numbers and talk about the numbers game. just look at how we're talking about numbers versus how other people are taught to talk about numbers, right? So no doubt she will get, some people, right, who are in that, like what I like to call that severe pain. And so they're actively like looking for something. So when people put probably just about anything in front of them, they gravitate it because their pain is so severe, right? So to Sue's point, her numbers are going to be high because she's not really fact finding. Okay. But if she keeps going and she goes through enough, then she will get some. The second thing that stood out for me is what Sue is talking about with the follow up. Most people really don't follow up. Okay. Or they follow up once, and then if they don't get any traction, then they just move on. So they blow through, that's what we call blowing through leads.
Yeah,
So I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. So Constance, who signed up last week, Tuesday, we have been in conversation for a year. She has been telling me she's going to work with me in some form or fashion for a year. We had our meeting. I remember it was at Tim Hortons at Shepherd and Morningside. We sat and we met for an hour. She was like, gung ho, I'm going to do this. Great. Followed up with her. It's not right time right now. This happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, this happened. Every few, and I'll go, okay, so I'll check in with you next month. Perfect. So I checked in with her, told her what I was doing, and she goes, I still want to do the mastermind, but this is what she said. I just don't have the cash. I said, are you telling me you need to make some cash? And she's like, yeah. I go, well, what else are you doing? And she's like, I'm looking for something. I said, well, let me show you what else I'm doing. And the conversation switched from the mastermind to the thing, but she's like, oh, now I can get my money to make my mastermind, but this is really cool. And I need to take care of my health. So you see, follow up, a year. Most people would have stopped following up already.
Hey, so I was thinking too, back to the young lady who wasn't listening, and who, like you said, because they're taught to do it. I mean, she's doing what she was trained to do.
Absolutely.
From the company. But if she had these numbers, what has stood out for me is why the retention rate in multi-level marketing is so low, because you like people get, like the ones like Taria was talking about, that fall through the funnel, watch the presentation and just jump in. They run through, will you watch without listening to anybody. And then they finish running through their friends and their family. And now those people are sort of irritated because all they're talking about is what they're doing. And so now those same people don't want to refer them to other people because they feel like they're just sort of out for themselves. And I once actually gave a list of people to a friend of mine, and the people started calling me going, what is this girl's problem? And it was, she literally insulted like 30 referrals that I gave her. And it was, and I never, ever, I was like, she said, well, I'll just stop calling. I said, please do. Don't call anybody else I know. But I understand now, because you're trained to, do you have an open mind? Do you have, a parachute only works when it's open, and all of the cliches that we learn in network marketing 101, negative 101. So I see how this transition of genuinely caring about what's going on in the lives of others actually leads you to where you truly want to be, and where they, and it's a win-win all the way around. She wasn't creating win-win.
Well, it's all about her, right? It's all about
right.
And no one wants to feel gotten.
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
ever wants to feel gotten.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not gonna get me. That's just me. You're not gonna get me. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna play cat and mouse. You are not getting me. Because that's what it feels like. You just want to get me. You're not interested in me at all. You're not interested in what my needs are. You're not interested in what my goals are. You have no idea what I'm looking for. You're never gonna get me. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
This is the other thing that most people don't understand. If you want to sell product, you can play the numbers game with no real understanding of what someone's goals and needs are. If you want to build a team and a community only works when people believe that the members of the community care about them. People only get vested in a community, a team, if they believe that you're going to nurture, support, and grow them, and you intimately know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
We're building a community and a team. We are not selling product. The product will sell itself. We're creating a culture. This right here, these two columns, that's how you create a culture.
What two columns? I was looking down at the time.
Connection and follow-up.
Got it.
Because connection and follow-up frames how people come to the presentation. It creates the context, and anybody who's done speaker training with me, these two right here create the context. It creates the lens to which the person hears the presentation. If I'm going to the presentation thinking that Hayton wants to partner with me because he wants to help me get to my goals, and he understands that my dream is to retire free and financially abundant, he also understands that I want time freedom. Do you see how I'm now going to watch this presentation? Right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch the presentation from a very different place. Remember I talked about when you go to test drive a car, you notice that car everywhere. If Hayton tees up the connection properly, that person will go to the presentation looking to see if it meets their needs. But you've got to tell them when you watch the presentation, she's going to talk about this, she's going to talk about that. That is going to be so where you can get what you want. But that only happens if you guys do this. Not about getting someone to a presentation, but meeting their needs when they show up to the presentation. When you follow up, you use a presentation, but you go back here and you go, okay, what is it that they wanted? What do I need to highlight? What questions do I need to get answered? It's all about them. The presentation's a tool. Helpful?
You know what I also see is that that this same principle actually works on the customer side too, because when you show this kind of concern for people who may not want to have a business, and I see it in my practice all the time, is the care and the concern that I give listening to customers on the facial bed, or listening to, what their life is before I decide on how much makeup I'm going to put on them or sell to them. So I don't take a naturalista and load her up with 4 shades of eyeshadow and 12 lipsticks and that kind of thing, because that's not her life and that's not what she's going to wear. But when I adjust to what their lifestyle is and apply the products to what their life is, they trust me, and then my funnel gets filled with their referrals. So it's building that customer community as well as a team community, and they both feed into your funnel.
Julie, so this is really interesting. When I think of customer, I look at customers as part of my team.
Okay.
So for
Yeah.
me,
Makes
when I
sense.
think of presentation, I'm talking about any time you put someone in front of anything related to isogenics.
Okay.
So it could be you're putting them in front of a product video, you're putting them in front of a business video, you're putting in front of the presentation that I do. Anytime you put someone in front of a presentation, if you haven't done these two well, this will not go well.
Okay.
So for me, it is everybody. That's why this number for me can be low, because so Constance wants to build, but we started with her health. And I was like, let's get this handled. And she was like, and as we're getting her stuff organized, she's getting more. And she's like, I am so excited to build. I am so excited to build. But we started with her health. So I closed her on how we were going to get her healthy. But I did it with her intention. I followed the pace she wanted to go. I meet people where they're at. Some people will go to the business presentation first. Some people will go to the product presentation first. I'm going to meet you where you're at.
Okay.
But no matter what it is, this process never changes. Because when I'm doing this, I'm also figuring out what presentation am I sending you to? It's not an automatic that everybody goes to. Is this person really interested in product? Is this person really interested in business? Is this person really interested in community? Where am I starting you? What's the tool I'm going to put you in front of that addresses what you want? So that you feel heard and valued.
When you say if they're interested in the community, what do you mean by community? Are you talking an isogenics community?
There are some people who will come in and yes, they might be interested in the product, but ultimately they want to belong to something.
And so belonging to the team would be where they would want to be? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. They want to be part of something.
So
that's a mighty fine distinction.
So you also are able to recruit people just looking to belong to a team?
Oh my gosh, that's like 50% of the people.
But they just want to belong.
Yeah. Now they won't necessarily tell you, but you'll hear it if you start listening. People don't go, I just want to belong. But they'll say things like, so do we get support? Absolutely. Do you guys do things together? Yep. If you start listening to people, if you watch people, Cindy is a team player. Cindy will never do this on her own. Because it wouldn't be fun for her.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right? There are some people that are team players. They love team. Sue's a combination. Sue's don't let Sue fool you, that little quiet little woman over there. As driven as they come. She's one of the most competitive little.
I am.
Mm-hmm. You want to see
me, girl.
You'll see sweet, nice, kind, loving Sue, and then let's do competition, and she'll be like, "Oh no, I'm getting you. We'll be friends when this is done, but right now, we're in a competition." Sue is no joke, but Sue is both fiercely independent, but she loves team.
Very much.
And so it's just like Sue is building the community of people. She said, okay, there's a group of people who want to do shakes, want to exercise but they needed accountability. And that's one of the things like about me. People mistake my creativity for being self-motivated when in fact I'm other motivated. I do things based on other people's need for me to do it. So,
Yeah,
not even necessarily a need. It could be an expectation, or it could be, this group, I know that if I don't show up, y'all come to look for me. Like, where are you? And it's not just Suzanne anymore. Foz is coming to get me. I know she is. Taria coming to get me. Penn is going to come and get me. So knowing that there are people who will be concerned if I don't show up makes me show up. It genuinely makes me show up. And so it's that other motivated factor that makes a difference with me. So I'm both, just like Sue. I'm both. I like to be independent. I've never been much of a joiner, but once I have joined something, it means something to me that the people in that group care, and it actually pushes me forward to get things done. I do more things because I know that even though Suzanne has never once yelled at me, told me off, threatened or rejected me, just knowing that she's going to go, Miss Julie, where are you? Just knowing that makes me go farther, faster.
cool.
And there's plenty of people that they need that in their life to move forward.
So does that answer your question, Hayden?
It does. It does. It opens up a brand new avenue to me.
Right. So you would be amazed at how many people are seeking belonging, and belonging with like-minded people, not just belonging to anything, belonging with people who validate their dreams.
So that would be, let's go get $100,000 together. Let's go together to do X. That would be the draw for those people.
Well, it may not be the $100,000. It might be, you know what? We learn and grow together. I've had the most growth just working as a group. We get past challenges together. Again, it's listening to what's their hotspot.
Right, because that $100,000 is my thing.
Right.
So,
and for some people, they're excited about the $100,000, but that's not what's going to motivate them.
So then the thing that I need, people who are looking to belong, there's a draw for them. There's something that they want to belong to, and I guess my job is to find out what that thing is that they want to belong to and see if I can present that.
Right, and talk about it.
Okay.
Absolutely. So even with one of your people, the thing is he wants to be a leader that impacts community.
Yeah.
Right? That's a huge part of the conversation. And it's how do you position what we do as an opportunity for him to lead and impact community. And that we have people who are really committed to the exact same thing. Our goal is to shift the way people look and do money and help people really step into this independence so that they understand they can take charge of their financial future. They can take charge of their lives. A lot of it is how do we articulate the same thing, but so that this person can hear it.
Right. Okay. And
I was just about to. Oh, I'm sorry, Hayden. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Toria. Go ahead.
One of the things I would like to share that gets me like every time that I hear Sue say it is locking arms with the 10 people, right? Like finding your 10 people that you're going to lock arms with. The reason why that stands out for me is because, I've felt that, like times in the past that everybody else, you see other people being successful, but success eludes me, right? It's like everybody else has something else that I don't have, that I just can't get there. So what is it, right? And a lot of times people feel that, right? And they have a feeling that they're watching other people pass them by and they don't know. So when I hear lock arms, that says to me that, you know what, I have someone, or I'm helping other people figure it out, because that's what people really want to do. So when you talk about some people just want to be a part of something, you know, some people just want to know that they're not journeying alone. And that's actually my words. I actually say that all the time. Like, I'm so glad that I don't feel like I'm on this journey alone anymore, right? Have all these wonderful people that help and support me on the journey, and I turn around and help and support them on their journey as well. So when I hear, you know, people want to be a part of something, really and truly, that's what a lot of people are looking for.
Right, they're looking for not to be enrolled and left to their own devices. And they're like, how many people know people that, yeah, I got enrolled and I never saw the person ever again?
Because there's some people who are, the way that they get to independence is through interdependence. And which is very different from dependence. You know, the clinging vines that, you know, if you don't, they won't. If you know, if you don't, they can't. But there are others like myself. I'm interdependent on you guys. Yeah, could I do this by myself? Yeah, but it's a lot more fun, and I learn a lot more because I'm interdependent to you guys from the standpoint of perspective. Fabi's going to give me a different perspective on this business than Taria is, because they come from two different, very valuable positions. And so I get this layered learning through my interdependence, which makes me stronger independently when I'm not in you guys' presence.
Very good. Very good. So this is what our, any other question? Is this good? This helpful?
Very.
The separate from the current is the thing was follow-up, right? And I guess even with the leader that you talked about in my team, who I'm waiting for, it is something, I guess, that, you know, I guess you follow up with people for 2 years, because to be honest, let me just tell them, I'm getting tired of waiting for people for 2 months. And that's, so I guess that's something that, that's just par for the course. You can have 10, 12 people that you're following up on who said, yeah, but then other thing keeps getting in the way, and I guess frustration is just not allowed. That's just a commentary, I guess.
Well, I think it's if your focus is on signing them up and that's your only interest, frustration will be high. If your focus is on furthering a relationship and figuring out what will inspire them to say yes, then it just becomes a game.
It isn't so much like, well, I got you. The thing that's stopping them from saying yes is something that I have no control over. It's other life issues, but again, I think the problem for me is what's playing out in my head.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because other life issues is another way to say timing.
Right.
Right.
And timing could be up to 2 years based on this.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets for me. That's where it gets for me.
And I think the other thing is relationship, keeping a relationship alive. So I'll give you an example. So I got a call 2 weeks ago from Mr. Les Brown. And I'm like, hey, Les, how are you? He's Ms. Hart. And of course, Les got, he's got to give me a big dissertation and so on and so forth. And he's asking about speaking and so on. So I hang up the phone. We have a great conversation. Now I know Les is going to call me back. on Saturday, I get a call. Friday night, I get a call. I missed a call. It's last. Saturday, I get a call. Ms. Hart, yes. It's last, yes. Do you still have shakes for me? Yes, yes. All right, I'll call you on Monday. I'm going to place my order. I need some shakes.
Sure,
Okay. My point to you is I have a relationship. So I'm the go-to. So I didn't just enroll him and let him go. I have a relationship. I'm top of mind. And I know his pattern. He'll use for a while. He'll get where he wants to go. He'll go. He'll do whatever he needs to. Then he'll be back. Okay. I understand it. But do you have relationships that keep you top of mind? Cool. All right. So, Mark, any questions, comments, hon? Any questions? Anything? You good?
I'm good. I did have a question for Taria. I'm interested in the training, the social media training that you hold on Saturday. Is that in a Zoom format?
Actually, no. It's on a Facebook Live format.
Okay.
Are you on Facebook, Mark?
Yes, I'm on Facebook.
Okay, so all you have to do is go to Facebook and search Social Media Saturdays.
Okay.
You'll see the page. So if you like and follow the page, that's one way.
Okay.
And then also we have a group, Social Media Saturdays, helping you to serve, share, and shine.
Okay.
And then you could join the group there as well.
Okay, great.
Yep, there you go.
Great, thank you.
Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Yay. Oh, yes, Sue. I saw your message, Sue. So same thing. If you like the page, follow the page. Okay, then you guys will get notification of when I'll be going live.
I'm coming.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Tria.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So this is where I want to leave you guys because you guys are a chatty bunch, I tell you. All right. So the month of June, we're going to call it the month of consultant.
Okay.
That means if you're not a consultant, you're going consultant. If you've gone consultant, you're making sure that consultantship is secure, and or you're creating a consultant. Remember we said this is going to be nobody left behind. So we're going to start working our numbers. We are going to figure it out together. Because once you know how to go consultant and create consultant, you now know your business. Those are two skills. Learn how to use the tracker to go consultant and learn how to use the tracker to help create a consultant. Those are the two skills. So everybody's taking it on. So I'm going to be checking boards. Sharia will be checking boards of her people. We're going to be checking boards. And the activity needs to be equal to the outcome.
Okay.
Wow, look at Anthony.
I know, I see.
Because I question my activity, and over the last most of this pandemic, I've looked back over my successes, and I look at what's the difference, and I look at how many businesses that I've.
Oops.
Oh, he froze.
Oh, I thought it was me. Yeah, come back, Mr. Penn.
Had that have been profitable. I looked at the one I just sent of my. Say it again.
You were freezing up.
And I've eliminated 25% of my income first. And so as I change, and I have some lifestyle changes, I have to look at, okay, where do I put my emphasis and what have I done that has not caused me to be successful versus what do I need to do because it was almost 2 years ago, Suzanne, when you came to me and says, well, Anthony, have you ever considered just maybe being a good customer? And I was like, no, I want to build a business. I want to build a business. But the difference is walking it versus just talking it. And so what does that walk look like? And so that in there, moving off of these pages of my notes and moving into my calendar and then honoring my calendar and then being in my integrity with my calendar. You know, it all comes back to the same thing, is what does my word look like with me so that I can be successful? And so until I overcome that challenge, and I've been successful in quite a few things, and I am successful in quite a few things, but this here is a challenge. It's different. It's a different way of making money. You know, as Julie pointed out, on being concerned about people and only giving them what they need and not giving them a bunch of stuff because they can. And I've made consulting 2 or 3 times, but I was pushing product, or I was the strength of my personality overcoming the weakness of someone else's personality. And that doesn't lend itself to longevity, because as soon as you let go, as soon as you stop pushing, as soon as you stop pulling, you know, they fall off, and then you're back at just looking at yourself in the mirror. So that's why you see me shaking my head going up and down, because I'm hearing different things for the first time. Not that they hadn't been said, but I'm hearing them differently for the first time.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. Evan, is that you, 416?
That's not me.
I know.
I was wondering the same thing. Where did that number just come from?
Yeah, who's that?
I think it's Evan.
Anyway, he's muted.
All right, everyone. We're good?
Yeah, thanks, Suzanne.
So we will be checking Trello boards, numbers, everyone consultant.
Hey.
No consultant, create a consultant. We are going to figure this out. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, so many consultants this month. Good. All right, everyone. Have a fantastic week.
Cindy, call me.
Who'd you say call you?
I said, Cindy, call me.
Okay. All right, everyone. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Everyone.
Have a good one.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
week, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Okay, I was looking for you because I was like, okay, I'm going to end as soon as Evan jumps on.
Oh.
And I didn't see you.
Okay. Yeah, I was on the whole time. So I was 9:30 anyway. Yeah, I wasn't sure, like, it just kept going, and I thought,